Hey, it's your boy. You might be wondering. He's got the straw hat on. That means he probably is going to tell us about One Piece. And I'm pretty sure the title would have already told you. I have now finished Marineford. And most of the stuff after it. I'm just going to say I finished most of the stuff, or all the stuff after it, because I'm literally one episode away. So, by the end of tonight, I'll have watched all of Marineford and everything that comes after it until the next... I think it's the time skip, actually, is what's next. But let me tell you, Marineford, really good. Like I said, starting off, Marineford was really good. Like, it was really, really good. First arc in One Piece where I genuinely like Luffy as a character. Where I am genuinely with Luffy the whole time, pretty much. He didn't lose me at all during it, where I was like, oh my god, he's back to fucking Uber Meat mode or whatever. But he genuinely was very serious pretty much this whole thing, and it was so good seeing Luffy. I guess it was just, that was nice. Like, it's just so nice. And he got a lot of character development that's really good. And dude, it was so good. So spoilers from here on out. So Whitebeard is one of the coolest fucking characters I've ever seen. I don't think he's like a great character or anything, but he is really cool. Like, it's like Bleach, where a lot of the well, not a lot, but like some of the characters in Bleach, like Kenpachi, I wouldn't say he's exactly a amazing, fantastic, like deep character, but goddamn is he cool. And that's exactly how I feel with Whitebeard, where he's maybe not the deepest character or anything, but fuck, is he a fucking badass. And that's fucking awesome. We also got Ace. Ace is fucking great this arc. Ace was amazing. I'm gonna try not to spoil it too hard, but I will, like, obviously I'm gonna be mentioning characters in certain moments. There's gonna be two pretty large. You just have to talk about it if you're talking about Marineford. Like, if you haven't watched Marineford, just click off. Or if you're not gonna ever watch One Piece, then you're fine. But there is some actual deaths in this arc. There's some real deaths. And man, is this series so much better when there's some death. And I'm not even saying, like, everyone should be dying constantly, but do you feel so much more, like, and the same thing was true for Water 7, where you feel, although it's technically not really a character, but the Going Merry, when it dies, when it can't go anymore, you genuinely feel, like, very sad. Like, it feels like a character has just died. By the end of it. And this has two major deaths, including a spoiler, last warning, Ace, who dies in a very it's a very, like, shonen way. Like, you'll see it a lot of shonen, but it never fails to make me enjoy it. The sacrificing yourself, usually for your brother, and that's exactly what happens here, and that was amazing. I will say I have one small problem, and they kind of talk about it, so it's not... It's more of like a personal thing. I don't like that Ace is so willing to escape. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna leave, because Whitebeard is sacrificing himself for us all to escape. And he's running away. And then, I don't remember his name, I just remember he's the voice actor of him is Kenpachi, one of the admirals. He starts walking away. Or he starts walking towards him, the admiral. And he's like, hey, your fake dad, Whitebeard, he's a bitch. He's a bitch. And I'm gonna say it. He's like, he's running away. Y'all are just running away. You're all leaving him behind. You're even worse than him. And Ace snaps, and he tries to fight him, and it goes horribly, obviously. So I wasn't a big fan of that, and I'm still not, even with the explanation. So the explanation is, Ace is the son of Gold D. Roger, and apparently Roger would do a very similar thing, where if someone, and it's a cool line where he's like, Gold D. Roger would do the same thing, where he he would not turn his back on an enemy, not to be like badass and like never run away, but he would not let his family essentially have their backs. He would cover his family's backs essentially, which that's fucking cool. And Ace does the same. But it does lead to his death, which makes it kind of feel dumb because you're kind of like, dude, like you just kept running and you would have lived and been fine, and like it would have been good. Well, maybe not fine, but it would have been alright at least, I think. But it is a good moment still. I don't have any problems with Ace dying. I just don't really like how he died, I guess. But even then, it's not like that big of a problem. That's like one of my bigger problems though with the arc. The pacing is actually good. I will say the pacing probably feels a lot better to me because I watched it all in like 2 days or 3. So it's not, for some people I'm sure it felt like he was running for like 50 quintillion episodes, because it was like 30 straight episodes of him running to Ace. It's just never getting there until like the very end, but then for the Marines, like it's like literally like 2 steps essentially. Like you can literally see Whitebeard like across this battlefield, but for Luffy, he's been running for fucking 30 episodes straight to try and get to it. Whitebeard's death is fucking great. I think those the sacrifices that actually like do work are always some of my favorite, because there's like generic, like someone sacrifices themselves and they kill like 4 zombies and then they run away. An example of that in anime is Hanji from Attack on Titan. In the manga, kills like literally 1 Titan and then dies. It just feels bad. You're like, oh man, that he did nothing. But in the manga or in the anime, she fucking like annihilates like 60 fucking Titans, and it's crazy, and you feel real bad for her sacrifice. It's like, damn, she took down a lot of them, like she saved them essentially. And Whitebeard feels kind of similar, where he does save most of his crew, but it's also kind of it's like, dude, so many people have died. Like there's so much death on every side. Kobe, I think that's his name. Kobe has a fucking phenomenal character moment for sure, in my opinion, where there's just at one point the tides of the war change, and the admirals are like, or not the admirals, the navy is genuinely just bloodlusted. Like they are actually just hunting down every single pirate. They are willing to let like their friends die. They're like actually losing it, and Kobe steps up and he's like, stop that, we're sacrificing innocent people for no reason at this point, because obviously. And fucking Kenpachi's voice actor, that admiral, whatever his name is, bro is so thirsty for the kill. I have never seen a man in an anime wanting a kill this bad. Like, he is genuinely fiending for the kill. It's like Kenpachi, it's like what I would think Kenpachi and Ichigo would have been after the Soul Society, like what I thought in my head it would have been, where it was just on site, like, this man is not willing to let them go. But with Kenpachi, it didn't turn out that way. But with this guy, he was, I don't know if he's gonna change, but he was not wanting to let go. He was like, no, you do not run away, you fucking bitch. He was like, you're staying right here, and you're going down right now, both of you too. Because we find, and then, so that shit was fire. And we see Luffy like actually lose, which is, I don't know if we've seen him like actually lose before. Like he loses fights, but he never loses the war essentially. Like he always comes back and wins. But he actually ate shit this war. Like he could not fight a single person. Well, okay, to be fair, he did, but he couldn't fight. Like he was putting on a show for sure. But he was like, after, he's like, holy shit, I could not fight like anybody in there. Like, I constantly had to be getting saved. He got like adrenaline pumped in him like 3 times in a row. He was on death's door like 80 quintillion times. It was like, it's rough for him. Oh my gosh. Hey. My cat just knocked an earwig into his fucking water. What the hell? Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Luffy like genuinely loses. And it's hard to watch. Like, the past, like, 3 arcs have just been Luffy losing everything, and it is really sad. And another moment I kind of just glossed over was Whitebeard. The final words he says are, like, so good. Because he says, oh, he's like, oh yeah, so he says, the One Piece is real, essentially. Well, that's exactly what he says, which is a meme. But as his final words, it's great because, what's his name? Goldie Roger started a pirate era by, like, saying, hey, I have this treasure that may or may not be real, and sacrificing himself for his crew, essentially. He's like, I have this treasure, it may or may not be real. Look for it, and it starts an era of pirates. And that era of pirates ends with Whitebeard saying, hey, the One Piece is real. Like, go out and find it, and sacrificing himself for his crew again. Well, not even for his crew, for, like, pirates in general, essentially. And that shit was so cool. I was like, damn, that was a fucking way to go out. I was like, that was some good-ass writing. Oh, it was just so good, man. I cannot describe how good it was. It's not... I think it is my favorite One Piece arc so far. Is it flawless still? No. I still think the pacing is kind of meh. It's not bad by any means, but the pacing is meh. And honestly, I can't think of many other complaints. That's pretty much how good it was. I guess, like I said, I don't really like... I understand, like, it makes sense why Ace turned around there, but it just feels like so bad because it's like, and maybe it's supposed to feel that way, but you spend this entire arc with Luffy trying to save Ace. He saves Ace. They're getting out of there. Whitebeard sacrifices himself, and you're like, holy shit, okay, this is going crazy. We're gonna have Ace though. And then Ace gets killed, and you're like, okay, so literally everyone there just died. Like Lil Wars Jr., rest in peace him. All these captain commanders, or not captain commander, sorry. All these commanders of, like, squads all dying for no reason. All these normal ass pirates dying. And I guess it's not for no reason, because it's like they're trying to just get their crew member back, and they're willing to do it. But it feels like total loss, essentially, but not in a good way. And here we're gonna dive into the... Oh, but before I do this, actually, to rate it, I would probably give this like a 95. Like, this is S tier shit. Like, this is good. But just like I'm saying, it feels like a total loss, but not in a good way. When you want to hear an example of a good way of total loss that still feels good, so season 1 of Thousand Year Blood Work, but you feel like they are losing in the first invasion in a Thousand Year Blood War. Like, they are absolutely getting slammed. Everyone's Bankais are getting stolen. Fucking head captain's commander or lieutenant is annihilated. Literally everyone is dying. Like, Ichigo has a moment where he's like, holy fuck, everybody is dying. Like, literally everyone. Everyone I promised to keep alive is on, like, death's door. Byakuya has, like, a tragic moment. There's just a bunch of that is lost. Like, that is... through and through, the Soul Reapers were losing. Like, they were losing hard too. The only Soul Reaper who wasn't getting clapped up was Aizen, and that's because he's just him, I guess. But that is what I want when I feel total loss, because it was like, holy shit, the Soul Reapers just got annihilated. Like, you're like, oh my god, this is crazy. And people died still, like the Lieutenant Kira, and a bunch of other lieutenants and just normal dudes. All of them died. Literally all of them. So it's not like a problem of maybe in Bleach no one died. No, people were dying in Bleach. Fucking like multiple very important captains were getting clapped up left and right. Byakuya didn't end up fully dead, but he was looking like he was about to die. There was so much of that. And that is what I guess I wanted, which might have been expecting a little too much, because that is like one of the things that Thousand Year Blood War arc does extremely well, is that feeling of just actual holy fuck, they're screwed. Like, I don't see how they're getting out of this. And and once again, I don't want to. I'm not going to be here shitting on Marineford because it was actually great. Like, it was a very good arc, very good. Maybe not the best arc of all time, but it was up there. Like, it was a fucking banger.